If you have been through a scenario where you've been struggling financially because of fear and uncertainty in the marketplace, or because the financial culture has changed, if you are in a space where your work has dried up, or you've had to pivot your business, or you've had to completely change direction, or maybe you've decided to become self-employed and set up with your own business because maybe you've been furloughed or because you've been made redundant, and the fear alone associated with that and stepping out into just doing something by yourself, there's a couple of areas around that. One is about taking responsibility, and the other is around money. And of course it is, right? Because one of the reasons why we become self-employed is because we think we'd have more freedom financially and more freedom with our time. But sometimes that's not the case. So it's really important as a small business owner that you recognise that your fear can literally be driving the bus. And one of the things I would encourage you to do is, we talked previously about fear being one of your essential emotions. So you have to listen to it. It's there for a reason. And there's this lovely saying, which actually is from the wonderful Liz Gilbert, and she says it in Big Magic, the book Big Magic. And she says, look, fear is supposed to be on the journey with you. It's supposed to be in the car. It gets to have a seat in the car with you. But don't let it near the sat nav, the steering wheel, or the brake pedal. And so that's really interesting. And I want you just to have a grapple with that and have a think about it. Is fear driving your business? Because if fear is driving your business, you're going to want to explore an alternative way. I just want to introduce to you the concept that your money mindset might not be where it needs to be. And so what that means is that fear is going to be driving decisions that you make. Fear is going to be driving who you speak to, when you speak to them, how you speak to them. It's going to be driving your behaviour. It's going to be driving who you work with. It might be driving your pricing. So often what happens when we're in lack and we're in fear in our businesses is we'll take jobs with people that aren't aligned for us. So they end up being difficult customers. You take jobs for less money because you're scared that unless you take the job, you won't get another job. You might take jobs with less money and you might not have any boundaries in place because actually you're so scared of losing the client that you will literally, be at their beck and call without having appropriate boundaries in place. Sometimes what I notice happening with a lot of small business owners that I coach is that they're scared of money altogether. So they don't even put their financial systems in place. So they know when they get a job and they know what they're going to charge for the job, and they kind of know how to get the money in. Sometimes they're scared of following up if somebody hasn't paid them. Sometimes they're scared to put in a contract because they don't want the customer to say no. So all of these things are based around fear. And what I also see is that some people just don't even set up whether they've got accounting software, or they won't talk to an accountant, or they'll be scared to sort out their VAT if they're over the VAT threshold. There's so much fear wrapped up with money, and money is really interesting. And money mindset is actually something completely different than fear. It's all wrapped up in self-worth. But I just want you to have a think about how you feel about your finances, how you feel about money, and how that is impacting your behaviours in your business.